Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for part 2 of making a leather purse. If you missed part 1, please go back and check it out. I hope you're having a glorious day. Today we'll just be carving out the pattern. We'll start out by stropping the blade on a swivel knife. You want to make sure the swivel knife is stropped to make sure it doesn't drag in the leather while you're carving it. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit here so you can see what is going on. I'm actually flipping the knife over so that I can strop each side of the blade evenly. This is the pattern that we traced out in part 1. And you'll see on the back, blue painter's tape. The first knife I'm going to use has a wide blade. The wide blade helps me to make a straight long cut more easily than a narrow blade. A narrow blade will be more suited to tighter curves, which you'll see me use later in the project. Carving this entire piece is going to take me about 15 minutes. We'll speed it up so we can get that done about half the time. Surprise, it's later, and I'm doing some gradual curves. I could use the wider blade for that, but I'm going to go ahead and use my narrower blade because most of the rest of this project will use that. Now, just like in tracing the pattern, it's very important to follow the lines as closely as you can. There'll be sometimes you'll find a couple of lines that aren't where they should be or where you might like them, and there is an opportunity when you're carving to correct that. Now, when I'm carving also, I'm not trying to cut all the way through the leather, and the rule of thumb is typically you would cut 1/3 to halfway through the leather. You also don't do that on the entire line. When you're carving areas like this, you will actually try to fade that cut out. So in other words, the cut will start deeper and then it will get shallower as you go. Now, if you're not certain what you're about to carve, don't be afraid to reference your drawing, like I did here, just to make sure you know what the end piece is going to look like. I'm going to slow down a little bit here so you can see what I'm talking about. There are a couple of lines right here that when I traced them, I didn't trace them correctly. So since I can see that, I want them more centered, equal distance between each line. And I've carved it a little bit off of that line, as you can see here. This will help when I'm tooling it and make it look more even. Also want to apologize for the autofocus here. I'm using a new camera and I'm still learning some of its features, so future videos that I'm recording, hopefully I will rectify that situation and the focus will be more consistent. I'm about to start carving the lettering in here. For lettering, I typically will carve much shallower than I will everything else. It just helps it to look more clean when I'm done. If you carve too deep, it may not look near as good. Another thing to notice, if you're carving and you start feeling that knife drag just a little bit, it's a good time to strop your blade. About to finish up my favorite part of doing leather work, and that's carving. Thank you guys for watching so far. I hope you've learned something. If there's stuff you really want to see in future videos, please let me know in comments below. The next part is going to be tooling out this leather piece. I hope you guys will tune in when I have that video ready. Thank you so much for watching.